On this week's episode, how Netflix is fighting back strong with Bird Box and Bandersnatch. Our thoughts on the Golden Globes and just how popular can a mass singer truly be. All this and more as we once again delve into the pop culture cosmos. And we're back with another episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos. My name is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our shows, listening to all of our programs. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without the man himself accepting the award for Best Fellow Host. He is the man in question when it comes to Humanica Media. You got to talk about, oh, you got to catch everything today on humanicamedia.com, Humanica Media on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and so much more. It is my good friend. And congratulations to you on your award, my friend. Just like they did at the Golden Globes. It is Josh Peterson. What's up, man?
I tell you, it was a close race with Bohemian Rhapsody, but I won for the best co-host. So there's that.
I'd like to thank the Academy. There you go. All right. Well, we'd like to thank you for listening to our show today. We've got a lot of things to talk about. Plus, we also have Jessica Boggs from the TV Ratings Guide and TVRatingsGuide.com. She's going to be stopping by with our January TV ratings update, where we're going to be talking about a lot of things, including the Orville, a lot of great new shows, the Blacklist, upcoming shows on the way. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is also on the way, and of course we're going to talk about just how popular is The Masked Singer. Also, as well, Josh is coming up with a review of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We're going to be talking about on the back end of the show a little bit about what's coming up this week at CES. But right now, we got to talk about some good stuff when it comes to Netflix, my friend, because Netflix, don't count them out just yet as being on the big entity out there, the chief out there among everybody when it comes to streaming platforms, because despite all the stuff that they're getting rid of, despite all the stuff that's leaving, like the Disney Marvel stuff, you know what? They're still doing very strong when it comes to a lot of good things and a lot of good programs on their network. They just announced that Bird Box, in its first 7 days, garnered 45 million views. And Bandersnatch is obviously the talk, and Bandersnatch is the talk out there when it comes to pop culture with its alternate endings and stuff like that. Your thoughts first off on Bird Box? I call it a hybrid of The Happening, World War Z, and hmm, oh yeah, and A Quiet Place. I didn't say it was good as I didn't say it was as good as any of those movies. Maybe better than The Happening, but it is garnering a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of people out there taking on the Bird Box challenge. Don't do it, by the way. Netflix says.
Yeah, I was gonna say they actually just put out a warning telling somebody crashed a car last night trying to drive with the doing the Bird Box challenges. I was reading a news story about it. He ran into a van or something.
I guess if you put a blindfold on and you try to drive, that may happen.
Yeah, yeah, very true. It's weird because I've never come across a movie ever that is so widely loved and widely hated, and for that reason alone, I am curious enough to watch Bird Box, but not curious enough to watch it right now. So that being said, I know enough about the plot. I love the memes that it's created. I love how it's become such a phenomenon between even with people who hate it, and it's one of those movies that is Netflix does that. They create these movies, and some of them hit, some of them miss, and some of them are Bird Box. And this is one of those movies where it does have audiences divided, but the hype has become so big with it that everybody is watching it. So this is causing Netflix views to skyrocket. How many views do you say it had within the first week of being out?
It is the highest of all time for the network. That was announced by their CEO, and CEOs only love to announce good things. And it is 45 million within the first 7 days of viewing, of availability. That I believe, like I said, 45 million accounts actually got a chance to view it. So that doesn't even account maybe repeated viewing by some of those accounts.
Right, but this is kinda digging into like, Netflix is I don't know if they're what how their marketing strategies work, but they're kinda digging into what viewers want to see, what creates, what creates hype, what creates controversy, how to get people to watch things because, look, they have, Stranger Things, even like, the 2nd season was very divisive, but still a lot of people watched it, and they're putting out Bird Box, they have all these horror movies coming out, and it's I think they're slowly figuring out the formula to what gets viewers. So once, all these companies start dropping out of their service as far as like Fox and Disney goes, they're going to be able to know what they need to do as far as creating their own original content to get to make that money back that they lost because they were I think what was it was last year or the year before they were still like $8 billion in debt or 8 million something like that.
I think it was reported at some point in time in 2018, but you're right. They still spent a huge amount of money on trying to create original content. They've obviously got a lot of influx of cash because of they do have so many millions of subscribers out there. It's like right now it's kind of even or maybe right around there. Like you said, they're still on the minus side on occasion because of the fact that they still have to afford to do for these all this original content. But it, like you said, it does pay off. For instance, the Cloverfield Paradox, which was going to go to the theaters, but I think the production company and the distribution company realized it was going to be a turkey, and DOA decided they go ahead and go with Netflix. Netflix debuted that commercial at the Super Bowl last year, and look what it did for that short term, huge amount of buzz that it garnered for such a god awful film. And
Right, but that's the beauty of Netflix though, is that people are going on there to watch bad movies. And, whatever that means for Netflix as far as what kind of content they're creating, oh, sorry, it's still working for them. And if they can keep doing that, keep making stuff like that, it's they don't necessarily have to put millions of dollars into these productions. They just have to make something that people are going to talk about. If they say it's good, people will watch it. If they say it's bad, people are going to watch it. There's not really a lot they can do to shoot themselves at the foot or in the foot, so to speak.
I did see Bird Box. I'm going to give you a general review that won't hopefully touch on too many spoilers. I will tell you that for me, it was just something that passed the time. It wasn't truly something that was memorable in any way, shape, or form, other than the fact that I knew going in that there was going to be that there's been so many viewing on it. There's been so much viewing on it. There's been so many memes out there for it, especially when it concerns talking about a referee or so. It's pretty nice touch how they put the referees on there, and they put Sandra Bullock's head with the blindfold on. I love those memes, to show bad calls and whatnot. But I will say that when I watched it, you could see a lot of the things coming a mile away. It was in this case a suicide paint by numbers type deal where you're just looking to you're just waiting for one, another one, and then there's one that's going to knock off a few at one time because they want to hurry up the plot and get to the reality, which was when do we get to what is really going on with the film and the inner battle between the evil entities that are causing this destruction and this mass suicide and Sandra Bullock. You're waiting for this final conflict to occur while you're seeing all these other individuals get succumb to what's going on. And it's a paint by numbers. It doesn't do anything really new or anything you haven't seen before, but for some reason it's just clicked so well with a lot of members out there. They seem to really appreciate it. I didn't find too much interest in it after watching it, but then again, like I said, to me it was a hybrid of other movies that in in the case of World War Z and A Quiet Place did much better. than what I saw in Bird Box. But like I said, that's just me. I know a lot of people, like you said, do really like it. I know a lot of people, like you said, also do not like it. I'd probably put it me into the realm of do not like it. I don't need to ever watch it again. I have no desire to, but it was just nice as a curiosity to see what all this fuss was all about. And after watching it again, like I did the Cloverfield Paradox, I wonder why I did.
So when you got to the end, how did you feel about it? You feel like you could never get those 2 hours back, or was this something that you were glad that you could now become a part of the conversation?
I'm kind of disappointed I'll never get that 2 hours back.
But you're now part of the conversation though, so
Yeah, I guess if that's a conversation to be had. In fact, it is a conversation to be had by us simply because of the fact that so many millions watched it out there. And obviously, it has retained some kind of interest to people out there, whether it's the memes or it's the movie. That's what I want to know. Is your curiosity more because of the movie or is it because the memes of the movie?
well, my curiosity about the movie is the fact that it's not even the memes because first for me it was that everyone was talking about it. Everyone was talking about
Well,
how
then why is everybody talking about it? Is it because the movie or the
I don't
memes?
know. That's a great question because I got online. I think this was the day after it dropped, and went online and or on social media, everyone's talking about. There's people saying, "Oh, I love the movie," and there are people going, "Oh, I hated the movie." And so I'm like, "Why are we even talking about this movie?" But it also the press wasn't really a huge fan of it, but it had the memes that came out regarding the movie were kind of became a cultural phenomenon because I saw there's even like ones where they're taking little snippets from the movie and adding like Blink 182 lyrics to it. Those ones are funny. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I saw it was word of mouth or word of social media first, and then it was the memes, and then it was the Bird Box challenge. So I don't know, man. Like it has a lot working in its favor because it seems at this point for this movie, bad publicity seems to be good publicity for them.
And people at this point are doing these bird box challenges, even though Netflix doesn't want them to, by a whole lot of people out there who haven't even seen the movie. And that's the beauty of as far as the social media landscape, which you and I talked about on one of our episodes last week when we talked about the power of social media, just basically taking hold of this movie. And I think that's probably why a lot of people are now going to check out this movie is because of the social media interaction. I think a lot of people watched it initially within the first 7 days because it was something that Netflix really strongly promoted, and it was just brand new content at the end of the year that people were really starving for because we're seeing the same thing again with Black Mirror and Bandersnatch.
The thing with Bandersnatch, it makes me sad is that what's his name? The guy that played the
Justin
programmer.
Wilson, I think it is.
No, no, the guy that quit Twitter. What's his name? He's been in Will Poulter.
Oh, Will Poulter. That's correct. Will
Yeah,
Poulter.
yeah. It breaks my heart, man, to see the way people are treating him so poorly online. I know we talked about this, but I've been kind of following the story a little bit, and because he's a good actor. I've seen him in other things, man. I know he's in Maze Runner, but he's in a whole score of indie flicks that I watched last year, and he's a fantastic actor. It's a shame to see him getting put out like this.
We're the Millers.
Yeah, yeah, we're the Millers. He was in some I don't remember the movie name, but yeah, yeah, he's been in a lot of things that I saw last year, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, this kid's he's pretty solid in these roles. So it's sad, man.
And then the only thing he does in this one is he bleaches his hair blonde and basically smokes a lot of cigarettes while he's playing a certain character, playing a character in the 80s as far as a developer is concerned, and gets trashed over it. It's not warranted, not warranted at all.
Right? Why target him?
Exactly.
That's it. Anyways, yeah, Bandersnatch though. I got about 10 minutes into it. I plan on finishing it, but it's very interesting because I am a fan. Like I always make references to those old pick your own adventure novels where you get to kind of like for this ending, turn this page and it goes. And I always for some reason got the endings that ended like halfway through the book. So I was really bad at making decisions. Probably still am. But um It's interesting because I pulled up a flow chart on Reddit to see, like, where each of the decisions take you, and a lot of them are the same up until you get to the point where you get the job offer, and then that's when all the stuff starts branching out. You start getting the movie could end or it can keep going depending on what kind of decisions you make, and it's really like you have to strategize. It's crazy, you know, it's like Mass Effect. You say the wrong things and you're gonna get attacked, so it I'm impressed. I am really impressed. Like, I was not expecting this, and it's making me wonder if maybe this is gonna be a future form of media. What do you think, though?
That's what I was going to talk to you about. As is this the first step to something truly interactive for the consumer out there? As a whole, I didn't enjoy it because I got to see a lot of the endings and a lot of the parallels as far as where you're going, branching out for the actual show itself. As a whole, I didn't really enjoy the show itself too much. I as someone who lived through the 80s, I kind of like the nostalgia factor, and I obviously like the music that they play in the shows in the show on the show. But as a whole, the following the character where he does some nefarious things or the frustrations that come in when that comes in and trying to develop his brand new style of gaming. I really didn't that part of it. It seemed to falter a bit as far as any path that you choose, but the concept itself as a originating style of entertainment, that's something that on a mass medium scale can really be played out. That to me is, like you said, very unique. And I wanted to ask you, you're intrigued by it. I know a lot of others are. And this looks like something that in the future, if done correctly, could be something really worthwhile.
Well, okay, so, you know, I kinda pride myself on being a storyteller in my own way, but imagine being able to cause the villain just as much frustration as the villain causes the audience, okay? Lost in Space, the new one, I hated the antagonist so much because she annoyed me so much, and if I could go back there and I could pick my own adventure for Lost in Space and make her life a living nightmare, I would do it in an instant. I would do it 3 or 4 times just to find out all the possibilities of things where I can make her, miserable. So yes, this is awesome, but it all I mean, I feel like it kind of adds a more technical aspect to it. So does it become is it still a movie or does it become an interactive experience? Where's the line, you know? Because they're obviously filming things. They have to film all these different outcomes of what could happen. And it literally is becoming a video game.
In
Where's
its own way, yes. I
in its
mean,
own yeah.
it's similar to what well, actually, it's similar to what you used to do if you've ever played the arcade game Dragon Slayer. I mean, was that a game or was that just an interactive entertainment tool? Because basically what you were doing is just waiting for a light, you turned it to the left, or you turned to the right, up or down, whatever it was flashing the light as, and it would take you to that next scene or that decision that you made. If you didn't do it right or you did something else, you know what? You're dead in the next scene. So this one takes it a little step further. Like you said, a lot of what Mass Effect brought to the whole interactive scene as far as back in 2007, it's doing now on a television medium. It is very interesting and intriguing. I like the concept. I think if it's done with a better storyline and a more encompassing and more enthralling decision making process, and also an outcome that is more satisfying than what we saw in Black Mirror Bandersnatch, or than what I saw, anyways. I would probably say that it's going to really be something down the road, if done effectively, can be something that's very cool to do. Whether or not it's going to be able to be something that's going to be very well thought of on a large scale, that I'm not sure of, but I think it's going to be done again. I think Netflix is very happy with it. It's got people talking about Bandersnatch. It's got people thinking about Bandersnatch, and it's got people interested in what that type of interactive entertainment is all about.
Yeah, and you know, the weird thing about Bandersnatch is that it is a Black Mirror property, right? So that it really only appeals to a certain type of fandom. But if they were to apply that to something that's more mainstream, I guess, I would be curious to know in that scenario what the fan feedback is. Because of course, Black Mirror is their fans are people who are more into the things that send you on mind trips or like indie kind of stuff that makes you it's outside the box type entertainment. But I want to see how it does in a mainstream audience because that will really say if this type of media has a future.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And I will tell you this: with the success of Bird Box and with the apparent success of Black Mirror Bandersnatch, and the way that both have not only encompassed as far as so many millions of viewers out there, there's all and the fact that they've also encompassed and grossed they've also engrossed a lot of people on social media and online to to get involved, get interactive, both in their own way have become great forms of interactive entertainment in their own different ways. But it just shows that Netflix coming out in 2019, although even though both those shows were released in late 2018, both those shows in 2019 are proving that Netflix still has a long way to go on top, and it's going to be very hard for Amazon, Disney Plus, Hulu, CBS All Access, or anyone else to try and top them anytime soon. What are your thoughts out there on Band uh, on Bird Box and Black Mirror Bandersnatch? Tell us your thoughts on how did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you like when it comes to Bandersnatch, the interactiveness as far as choosing your own path as far as to follow the movie is concerned? And did you like the outcomes as a whole? Did you try it again and choose something different? Or have you tried a Bird Box challenge, which you shouldn't be doing according to Netflix? And have you taken up one of those challenges? Have you taken up the Bird Box challenge as well? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. What are your thoughts on both Black Mirror Bandersnatch and Bird Box? We'd love to hear it. Popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. Also as well, Popculture Cosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. All right, my friend, when we come back, you're up, my friend. It'll be you talking about what?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a sprawling Greek epic of deadly proportions.
There you go. Your full review of Assassin's Creed Odyssey will be coming up right after the break. Right after that, Jessica Boggs stops by from the TV Ratings Guide to give us a January TV update, including thoughts on The Masked Singer, The Orville, and so much more. And then on the back end, we preview an upcoming little indie show. We preview an upcoming little electronic show called CES. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos. And we're back to close out the show. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos. If you need a listing where we're at, because we're being played on 15 different radio stations all around the world, and welcome back, the Podcast Radio Network. We just cannot thank you enough for coming back on the air and airing our great programs. Gotta get a listing. If you need a listing, just check out our just check out our social media today on Facebook. You can just check out Pop Culture Cosmos, and the listings are right there for you. Plus, a lot of listings of our podcast options as well. My friend, you've got a great thing going on with Humanica Media, including a couple more great reviews, which I kind of thank you for doing at least one today. But I think you've got a couple more in the fire coming up, along with a lot of other stuff. So let us know, my friend, on that and more when it comes to Humanica Media.
Well, the reviews are Pop Culture Cosmos, but I did put up an Assassin's Creed Odyssey review today. You can check that out. That's up now. And also coming at you on Wednesday, I have a review of Spyro Reignited. And then the following Saturday, I want to say, I have at Games review goes up there. You can actually read all these right now, though, if you want to go mosey on over to www.popculturecosmos.com. As for Humanican Media, Topicocalypse has a new episode out where I sat down and interviewed the CEO of Spaces, the company responsible for the Terminator Salvation or Terminator Genesis VR experience in the Irvine Spectrum. So check that out now. If you live in the Irvine area, go ahead and check that out also because it is pretty cool. Seems pretty cool. I'm gonna go try it myself here soon. Also, don't forget that this episode is brought to you by Miracle Fruit Oil's Vitabrace High Performance Gaming Wristband. And if you listen to this show and you get the promo code attached to it and use it to buy or use it at you're gonna have to edit this. I'm sorry. You use it at checkout when you're on www.miraclefruitoil.com. We will give you a free Sonic the Hedgehog game code. That's right.
That's right. It's available. It'll be out. We'll give it to you. It's a Sonic the Hedgehog code from Steam that we'll be giving you if you go ahead and use the promo code that's available that you heard earlier with me talking about it on the Vitabrace promo. That you can go ahead and just go on miraclefruitoil.com. You buy the great product, the gaming bracelet called Vitabrace, just awesome to help you better yourself when it comes to the video game scene. Just go ahead, buy that, get the discount, and you get a free game from us here at the Pop Culture Cosmos, a Steam game from Sonic the Hedgehog. A Sonic the Hedgehog game from Steam. I'm gonna put this part in the front end because I forgot to put this in there.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I just
but the Golden Globes, yeah.
Okay.
So the Golden Globes just concluded, my friend, and a quick update to everyone out there and a list of winners. I'm going to run real quickly, my friend. When it comes to it, the winners include Bohemian Rhapsody for best drama, best actor in a drama, Rami Malek from Bohemian Rhapsody, who played Freddie Mercury. Best actress in a drama is Glenn Close in The Wife. Best motion picture for a comedy or musical is Green Book. Best actress in a motion picture in a musical comedy is Olivia Colman in The Favorite. Best limited series or motion picture made for television would be The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story from FX. Best TV series, comedy, or musical is The Kominsky Method. Best performance by an actress in that series or musical comedy would be Rachel Brosnahan from the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Best director is Alfonso Cuarón from Roma for best director. Best performance by an actor in a limited series is Darren Criss from The Assassination Gianni Versace. Best motion picture in foreign language was Roma. Not a surprise there. Best action in a motion picture for musical or comedy was Christian Bale. And just so much more when it comes to a lot of good stuff, including best animation went to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Any surprises to you that when you look at the entire list, because there's so much that people won when it comes from a TV or also as well a movie standard. There's so many winners that were out there, but a lot of surprises as well. Your thoughts on the Golden Globes before we head to break, and I want to hear your thoughts on exactly if there's anybody that or any picture, anyone or any picture that was out there that really stuck out to you as being deserving or not so deserving.
Okay, so I still want to see Bohemian Rhapsody. Have not seen it. I actually have not seen anything on this list. So just bear with me for a minute. Vice. Okay, we've talked about Vice, and the reviews have not been favorable with Vice. What I don't know, man. It hasn't marked as a comedy. So I just wanted to ask you how does that work? Why is this classified under comedy? But most of all, why are the Golden Globes why are the Golden Globes important, especially when we have like the Oscars and the Academy Awards?
Well,
Why is
Bohemian Rhapsody? Why is Bohemian Rhapsody a music? Why is Bohemian Rhapsody a drama and not a musical?
Yeah, yeah, like a lot of these don't make sense. Spider-Man best animated picture. That makes sense that would be in that category. It's awesome that won too. I'm surprised to even have anything superhero related in an award show like this. Uh, you know, Best television series. So The Americans, this confuses me because this show has been on for a very, very, very long time. So I'm curious how it got the nomination. But, back to my other question here. Why are the Golden Globe Awards important? Why should anyone really pay attention or really care about any of this stuff when there's much bigger award shows coming up in the earlier parts of the year?
Well, I'll tell you first on the Americans because it just finished its sixth season and it ended its run. It's a great show, probably one of the best I've seen of this, at least in the decade. A lot of critics that are out there have called it one of the best shows ever made for television. It is really good, and I highly recommend it to anybody out there that wants to get into a really good series that really goes and goes on the cutting edge, so to speak. So I think the Americans, that was long overdue. I think the fact that it only won, I think, 2 or 3 Golden Globes or 2 or 3 Emmys or whatnot, it deserved more than what it got during its entire run. So it's a great show there. The Golden Globes as a whole, it's the Foreign Press Association, but there's a lot of domestic winners here. So I kind of find that a little bit, a dichotomy there between those two. But be that as it may, it is probably because the fact that it's a precursor. It's the first truly, I don't want to say important, but it's the first major highlight for Hollywood of the new year, and the fact that it does start that real ball rolling when it comes to what could be and what may not be favorites to get nominated and or win the Oscars, which is the obviously for the movies the big prize out there. For Emmys, it doesn't come till later in the year, so that's neither here nor there. But at least for the running for the Oscars, it really starts now, and that ball gets rolling. Although Bohemian Rhapsody, I disagree with you on Vice. Vice is getting a lot of mixed reviews from people out there. From critics, it's actually one of the best rated movies of the year. When it comes to Bohemian Rhapsody, now that's the movie with critics that's all over the place and actually does not have even a great Rotten Tomato rating comparative to some of the other films on this list when it comes to Golden Globes. But with people out there on social media, they seem to be absolutely loving what's being shown when it comes to Bohemian Rhapsody. So it's kind of a weird mix about how that works between both those movies. Does it put both those movies at the forefront when it comes to favorites for winning the Oscars? I still think it doesn't. I still think there are better options. In fact, The Green Book, which was the winner for the Best Picture, Musical, or Comedy, that one was the winner. That I think is probably going to be one of the higher, most likely favorites for the Oscars. I still think it's going to pop ahead of movies like Vice and Bohemian Rhapsody. I still think Black Panther has a better chance with the Oscar race than either of those films at this point in time to win. I think all those will be nominated. But yeah, overall, the Golden Globes are still a uh, very well thought of award ceremony. And like it or not, my friend, it's probably the second or third. I probably put third or fourth most valued award show that's out there for Hollywood.
Are we talking about out of the 3 or 4 award shows that play every year?
Well, I'm talking about, because my gosh, award shows are like almost every week. I know that, but I think you'd probably go Oscars, Emmys, and then you go Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, and then maybe something like the Golden Globes.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I see that, but it's I don't know, it's weird to me because Oscars have become are the standard, right? Those are the ones everybody knows, everyone talks about every year. And then you have, the Golden Globes, and it's I didn't even know this was happening until I turned on my computer tonight. So it's not something that's on the radar of an average Joe like myself.
I think that's probably the best way you can say it. For the insiders in Hollywood or the people that just want to gawk at the people that want to look at all the what people are wearing, what people are doing, or really want to start following what the movies and television shows that they really enjoy out there, how they're really doing. That's really for them. But yeah, for someone that has a passive interest in stuff like this, I can understand why it missed on by with a lot, with yourself and a lot of others as well. Well, before we head on out, my friend, I got to ask you real quick. CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, is back here in Vegas this week. I want to hear your thoughts, my friend, on what's going on with the Consumer Electronics Show. What are you most interested in seeing or hearing about when it comes to the Consumer Electronics Show?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this. I want to know televisions. Okay, so televisions have become significantly cheaper in the past 5 years, right? So you can go out and buy like a 60-inch TV. What that used to cost over two grand for a 60-inch TV, and now you can get it for, 400 to $800. You can get a decent 60-inch television set. And now they have 80-inch TVs, right? 80-inch TVs used to be something you could only get with where the big flat screens, the big CRT flat screens, because the bigger the picture got, the worse the resolution got. And now they have these big TVs that cover the entire wall, but I wanna know, like, more about, how the technology behind that and how that's going to become something that people are going to how they're gonna market that as a household item, you know? Uh, less people are using green screens now and more are using, like, LED walls, so I really am interested in TV technology and how far it's come, where it's going, and last year, they had some pretty cool stuff out there, like a TV you could roll up and then, spread out on a wall or something, so that's kinda what every CES, I look forward to checking out what's new with TVs. There as for, like, gadgets and stuff, a lot of that stuff I don't really know about until, like, I see the articles of all the stuff popping up at CES, but TVs are the things that I'm most interested in because that technology seems to change every year. So every time you buy something, it's almost becomes completely outdated and something new pops up, next year or even sooner than that. So where is the future gonna go? And are we gonna reach a point where there's gonna be VR technology associated with television and movie viewing? So I'm just waiting for that announcement, and that's kinda what I'm looking forward to hopefully hearing about this year at CES. But what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, when I go to CES, I'll just tell you this: every booth that you go to, that's a major deal as far as Sony. In the past was Microsoft, but Sony, LG, Panasonic. It goes on and on. They each have their own items that are out there that will just blow away everyone out there. But it's not affordable, like you said, to the average individual. Average individual. This is the first Christmas I can really remember where, like you said, 75, 82-inch televisions were actually reasonably affordable for the consumer, or approachable as far as something that they could actually buy, because there were 82-inch televisions right around the 2000 to 2500 mark that were attainable to the average individual out there. And that's the first time I've seen in it ever that that was possible. As the sizes and development of those sizes increase, 4K is going to evolve into 8K, because 8K is now something that is a reality at all these trade shows that I see, whether it's NAB or CES. When is 8K going to become a reality as far as being something that people can buy out there? And when is 4K going to become the next 1080? And the resolution just gets better and better, and the picture and the viewing just gets better and better. And just the problem is, it's still not translating down to the average consumer as of yet. Will we start seeing that? I'm not sure. But at this point in time, it's still nice to see that at least you can get a large size television for a price that's attainable, as opposed to what you could do in the past. When it comes to what I'm looking for at CES, I will, I think I'll just say this, that um, I'm looking for a lot of experiences, immersive experiences in home audio. I'm looking for more experiences with headsets, headphones, those type of experiences for gaming. I'm looking for movie experiences that it can go ahead and interact with a little bit more. Just surround sound systems that to me will appeal to not only myself but others I write reviews for, and that people can really get into when it comes to consumer electronics. Yeah, there's going to be an assortment of this and that. I mean, I've been inundated with literally thousands of emails since November in regards to being invited to several things to see at the Consumer Electronics Show. I've been inundated with over, I think, 3,000 now emails when it comes to that. We want to bring you here. We want you to come to this booth. We want you to come to that booth. I mean, I've been asked off the top of my head, I've been asked if I want to go ahead and learn how to DJ in an hour. I've been asked to have my brain scanned. I've been asked to look at the smart kitty litter box. I've been asked to see if I want to go ahead and um, better know or better become more aware of what's going on in the world of uh, auto driving, grocery shopping, and just oddball stuff like that. Plus a lot of drones, plus a lot of stuff relating to gaming, plus a lot of stuff related to video and audio and pictures, and just a whole bunch of stuff that's out there. I think probably the one that was out there, even though it's not as much as previous years. I usually get a lot more stuff in previous years that were just really just out there and oddball stuff. But I think the iToilet that I've been invited to look at as far as the iCat toilet. I got to say it right. The iCat toilet, that I got to check out, or that I've been asked to check out. That's probably the most thing that's out there that I've been asked to see this year and stop by. So, and I'm looking at it now at the email that I've been sent to it, and it's the IoT cat toilet by the IoT cat toilet Lavibat. So I'll let your mind wander on that, my friend. But to me, it looks like a cat getting in and out of a washer. I guess that's probably the best way I can say it.
I
I
saw
don't
a
know if I'll
commercial
actually
for
have
that.
time to. What?
I saw a commercial for that.
Well, I'm glad you saw a commercial for that. I don't know if I'll be stopping by and talking to them. I may get around to it just for kicks, but yes, I've been getting stuff sent like this and invites for all over CES, not only just at the convention center, but Sands and the whole nine yards. Man, I tell you what, these are all companies that are basing their, your interest out there into this stuff. That's the biggest thing I can get is that these thousands and thousands of companies are descending down upon Las Vegas. They're all hoping for your interest. They're all hoping for maybe more capital, more buyers, more buzz, more social media, more of something when they're going there. But it is a flood, and a lot of these small companies are going to get flooded over because they don't have something that's really going to stand out. You'll see the same things from the same people, from the same companies over and over and over again, even in the same areas, and it looks repetitive from time to time. But then every now and then there are companies that will do what they can to try and stand out, and that's what makes it keep on. That's what makes it keep worth going each and every year for the Consumer Electronics Show.
Yes, sorry, I was I wasn't sure if you want me to say something right there. But
I'm
yes.
sorry.
No worries, man. Yeah, no, there's CES is interesting because it really is like E3 for gadgets, and that's it's kind of a cool thing to go because yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there I guess you would consider junk and or impractical like the cat litter box or whatever it was, but it's also a great chance to kind of see what's going on in an industry that kind of gets overshadowed by the Kardashians and the all the politics and all that stuff because if you notice you don't see a lot of like tech talk on like your Yahoo news feeds and your wherever you get your BBCs, wherever you get your news from. You don't see a lot of tech talk on there anymore. It's all politics and celebrities and one somebody being oppressed or somebody being offensive or like it's all just that kind of static. You don't see anyone talking about TVs or talking about gadgets or talking about headphones and what's popular there. All is what, Apple puts out or something like that. So it's cool to see, have a whole convention and see all the stuff coming out of there. Like what does the future look like? And it's cool to see that people are actually still innovating things. You don't really get a lot of that anymore. And it's or maybe you do, and it's just kind of something that seems more underground these days. But yeah, man, I would love to get out there one day. I hope to. I plan on it, and I'm excited to see what you uncover during your journey through CES 2018.
Well, I hope to report a lot on it this week at CES and the Consumer Electronics Show. I believe Jamie Monroy from GameSource, he is going to be stopping by as well with me as we check out a lot of the good things at CES. So I'm looking forward to it. If you have anything that you want me to check out at CES, give me a shout out on Twitter at Pop Culture Cosmo or on Instagram at pop underscore culture underscore cosmos, or even on our good old Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook page. Send me a message and I'll do my very best this week to try and go ahead and give it some coverage. We will be making we'll be recording lots of interviews, hopefully, that are when we're down there, that we'll be replaying on the shows going forward. So looking forward to doing that all this week at CES. My friend, it's been another great episode. Again, we'd like to thank Jessica Boggs from the TV Ratings Guide for stopping by for her January TV update. Any last thoughts on the way out?
Yes, I am. I'm honestly excited to see all the stuff coming out of CES. So we're gonna have to do some little chatting on the future tech coming out of there. So I'll be expecting a full report on the next episode. All right, don't let me down.
You got it, my friend. I'll give you my best and tell you what was hot and what was not when it comes to CES. Indeed. I'm going to tell you what was hot and what was not when it comes to the Consumer Electronics Show this week on our Friday episode, The PCC Multiverse. So for Josh Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the pop culture cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.